Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. My name is Phil Dewey. Today's episode is going to be about the Parapalooza Paracon that was held on in Cleburne, Texas. It was the first, but hopefully soon to be annual Paracon. So let's get that intro rolling and roll right into the show. Welcome back to the show. I'm here again with Mudrat and Renee. Today we're going to be talking about the first, but hopefully annual Parapalooza that was in Cleburne, Texas. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend this, so I'm just along for the ride on this one, guys.
You were missed.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But I was hopefully in the process of trying to find us some really cool locations.
Right.
While I was on vacation. So
yes. And God, I hope we get that to come through.
Me too.
That's going to be so fun.
Yep. But go ahead. You guys take it away. I'll chime in if I have any questions for you, or I'll probably just be sitting here for the most of the time.
Well, it was Parapalooza in Cleburne, Texas, at the place called the Dillion Depot, which it used to be the Dillon Funeral Home. It was that for many years now. Prior to that, I don't remember what it was.
It was an actual railway station.
Yeah, okay. So railway station, then it turned into the funeral home. Then it sat empty for many years, where in 2018, this one gentleman, I know,
2018, huh?
I know.
The gentleman who owns it now purchased it. And I mean, he said that it was all sorts of torn up, pentagrams painted everywhere. You know how thugs and hooligans are.
Yeah.
But he picked it up and he's changed it up quite a bit. It's quite beautiful, actually.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, he's turned it. There's like a little handmade ice cream shop in there.
Cool.
And then most of it is like at least downstairs, it's like an antique place where it's got all the different rooms and nooks and whatnot that has all these antiques in it.
Cool.
And then over in what would have been the chapel, there are a bunch of tables, and then he has like a big railroad set in there.
Very cool.
And I mean, like
it is huge.
It is legit. It's pretty cool. And then just to the little nook from there is kind of like a war veteran museum that he has created.
Definitely appreciate that.
It's pretty cool. And that's where we actually, the speakers were. We were some of the speakers that were there, along with the event was put on by Wandering Souls with Tracy. There was the Unknown Ventures with Robbie, Call Me Claire with Amy. So those were kind of like the producers. They were also speakers.
Awesome.
Now, other speakers that were there was us, Haunted Heifer, the Ghoul Gals, the Dark Side, and Martha Decker.
Mm-hmm.
Martha Decker.
So it had a pretty good turnout.
Oh, yeah. There was 498 people total to this event. And I believe there was, 22 vendors, if I'm correct.
Something like that.
That's pretty good for a first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a lot bigger than I expected it to be. So it turned out phenomenal. And with with those numbers, I'm not sure that it counted the speakers and the vendors.
It did not count the speakers or vendors.
That was just purely people
just walking up.
So that's just attendees.
Yes.
Not just everybody like there. Now that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That means that just makes me think that, the paranormal was starting to become a little bit more mainstream.
Yes.
Because I could remember back at a time where you would do a first annual kind of like show or oddity show, or you might get like 30 or 40 people in.
Right. And it was also cool because it's a free event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was.
So, of course, there's the learning curve. Being the first one, there's a few things that need to be worked on.
Okay.
But it was overall really fun. A lot of the, it's great to get a community of paranormal lovers to show up to a place and just chat with them. Like other groups that showed up. We had
Texas Boo Crew.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Talking with them,
and they actually showed us a device that we ended up wanting to buy, and we added it to our gear.
Yes, we got the new dowsing rods. They have LED light up on it. I am absolutely so excited about it.
Those were for her.
So now whenever you get bored, we can be like, Luke.
Lightsabers.
Oh, wrong movie.
I am your father.
Wait a minute. Does
Yeah.
that mean on my dowsing rod I need to get a light?
No,
Oh,
your
right,
dowsing rod is okay.
Okay. All right. I mean, I didn't know if I needed to upgrade, add some
No,
lights and
please.
electricity.
Please don't. Please don't.
Anyways, but yeah, the event was really good. It ran from 10 to 7.
Awesome.
And then afterwards, they were offering tours of several different locations. One being the Dillion Depot, which is the one that we actually signed up for. There was like the Rugged Man. And I think there was a third location.
I believe there was 2 more after that.
Mhm.
And I don't quite recall just because we didn't attend it. I don't really remember.
One was a restaurant. I know that because
Yes, one was
that
a
was one I
restaurant.
considered because I'm fat.
Right.
I was like, food? All right. Let me in the kitchen. I'll stay there all night. We're good. And I don't, I think the other one was like an ice cream place. Though
we were at the ice cream place. There was a pizza place.
I don't know. I'm sure we can look it up on there, but or some of those groups that put it together, they'll comment on here and be like, "Yo, stupid."
Yeah, please correct us.
They'll be
Please
like,
help us out.
You were there, bro.
Yeah, I know,
Really?
right? Well, I was there, but like I said, I wasn't at the other ones.
Correct.
When I heard that there was a funeral home or what used to be a funeral home, I was like,
Sign me up.
Then
Sign
they're like,
me
"There's
up.
ice cream." I'm like, "Yeah." So they did give us some free ice cream, which I didn't get to have. There was a certain time that we were supposed to come down for the ice cream,
Yeah.
and I think that's when I went up.
You were
did
upstairs
doing
at the
the
time doing a
solo.
solo. Yeah.
You took one for the team on that. didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, that actually going into that, we were sitting there because a lot of the times, apparently, a lot of stuff happens when we sit back and they're quiet and they'll hear certain things around certain times.
Right.
So we were sitting there for like 20 minutes saying
I think
nothing.
it was way more than that.
It sure the heck felt like it.
It did feel like
I
it.
probably would have fallen asleep.
Dude, I was right there
I
because
was so
at that point it was
tired.
really late in the night. I'm sitting there like, oh God, I'm starting to fade here.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, hey, we're going to break out the spirit box or the Ovilus. I don't remember which one
Yeah,
they
it was the
broke out.
Ovilus.
And it said upstairs alone. And, so.
He didn't even skip a beat. It was
Well,
like,
I did. I was sitting there. Because at this point I'm already getting antsy. So I'm sitting there like, okay. And I'm looking to see if anybody else is jumping up to go do this. And then one guy was like, oh, I'll go up there. So-and-so goes up there. And I was like, well, that's my cue. And I stood up and I just went up there.
Yeah.
Apparently they were yelling at me going, radio. I didn't hear it.
It's a good movie.
yeah.
So I kept walking. I did, as soon as I started going to the halls to go up to the stairs, I was by the front door. I broke out my phone and I started video recording. So there is a full hour and a half video of me going up there and doing the solo.
Mhm.
A couple minutes in, I'm sitting there walking around and then my phone starts going off and I'm like, well, I'm filming. I'm not about to answer that. So I had my, iWatch on and I just switched over to that. And the Renee's on there and she's like, hey, stupid. They said radio. And I'm like, I don't hear it. So I was like, well, I'll just keep you on my watch and it's working. So I'll just record and you can talk to me on the watch.
Yeah, because we could hear him through the floor. And the Ovilus was responding to almost every single thing that you were saying upstairs. So it's like, we need a line of communication. So it's like, I just called.
That's pretty cool.
That's what was blowing my mind because I'm sitting there asking questions. When I first went up there, I'm asking stuff and I'm like, maybe it'll get EVPs on here.
Yeah.
When she called me, then I'm sitting there saying
That's
stuff
pretty cool.
and she will spout off to me. And there were a couple times I could actually hear the little, the Ovilus or the thing saying something in the background.
I think it's called Spirit Tube.
I think it's part of the Ghost Tube thing.
The
Vox.
The
The
Vox
Vox.
thing.
The
Yeah.
Vox.
Yes, thank you.
Tracy,
you.
I think, had that. And I mean, literally, I'm saying, or I say, hey, do you want me to go here? And she would right off the bat say it right. Hey, they say to go here or yes or no. And I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool.
So
Mhm.
this goes to show, and this is just something that we've always talked about with Chuck, is that he's great at asking the questions, but they never want to respond to him. They'll respond to somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're upstairs and it's like, oh, I'm going to talk to these guys right here.
Right. They're like, we'll talk to that guy. Screw that. He's just like a dark shape in the air. You know, he's
There's just something up here. And he's,
You know?
I hear somebody talking, but we don't see him.
Something's asking us from that void over there, you know? Hey, bro.
I just find that's funny that you're upstairs asking questions and it's answering on the ovulation.
Well,
Yeah.
And
That's
I
pretty
recorded,
funny.
and like I said, you can watch the video. You don't like whenever I went back and watched it, I didn't hear any EVPs or any. Of course, I'm always horrible with that, anyways.
Yeah.
But I did post it up saying, "Hey, if anybody sees anything or hears anything, please let us know." Because I've watched it twice and I haven't heard or seen anything. The most that I physically had happen was I heard twice squeaking, like a water faucet squeaking.
Okay.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, in the video, you actually hear it at least one time. I think both times you heard it, but one of them's like way clear. And I was like, what was that? And she thought I was talking to her. So she actually answered me.
Let me ask you a question because I know you said that this used to be a funeral home
Mm-hmm.
or a body prep.
Yeah.
What if it was a gurney wheel?
It,
That would make a
Absolutely
lot of
could be.
sense because in that area, if you're by chance where the elevator shaft is,
yeah.
there's one there. And then if you go further down the hallway, when you get to the little apartment section,
hmm
there's another one.
I was like, because both
That just
times,
kind of jumped in my head when you were talking about that gurney wheel.
well, both times, one time I was literally in what I call the sarcophagus room,
Okay.
which is attached kind of to the what we called the creepy bath, or I kept calling the creepy bathroom, and apparently pissed off some spirits. Because it's weird. There's a window in the bathroom
Yeah.
going into this. I call it sarcophagus room because there's this giant. It looks like something, you know, that you would put a coffin in and like maybe put it in a mausoleum, or she had a theory on it too.
Well, because when I was looking at it, it was really, really thick and it didn't look like it was made out of stone, but like a casing over a casket for like radiation. That's what it reminded me of a little bit. But definitely maybe something infectious that they wanted to close up. But that's what it looked like because it was really, really thick.
I mean, that makes sense.
Well,
but the window could make sense too if for some reason that bathroom was turned into a bathroom later.
Yeah.
But that could have been a prep room for whoever was doing the body care.
But all that portion is the apartment.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
there is
gotcha.
there's whole, like the body preps were all downstairs.
Gotcha.
Is now actually the kitchen.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is on the upstairs.
Yeah, this
this
is the
is
upstairs.
Gotcha.
Which, like I said, there's just a bunch of bizarre things up there. And I still have to say that I'm certain that it was built with that, like that, because the walls, it's not like something that was picked up and put on top of anything, because then it would have been straight up and down.
Right.
No, I mean, they fit with the roof where they're like, there's some sharp angles and like even nooks that are like built into the sharp angles. But there's those. And then the door that actually leads into the apartment,
Right.
that, you know, at one point it told me, you know, because we're doing the communications, it told me to close the door. And I was like, okay. So I walk out the door and I turn to shut it. And my hand, I mean, like just barely touches the handle and the door shuts. Like with my hand, I'm like, okay, well, that kind of shut on its own. So cool. And then I walk on. There are some kind of creepy things in there in what we called the big room, which was the casket. I guess
it's like the viewing room to pick out a casket.
Yeah. Well, and it was like a very large room. There was a body gurney in there,
Okay.
and a really old wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
But those are in there. Then when you go around, at the very top of the stairs, the first door on the right is the elevator room. Which that elevator, I mean, we're talking, it's just a board with the little metal frame at the top. There are no walls.
Yeah.
It is definitely something that could be very dangerous, but it makes sense for, you know, rolling people in or, you know, caskets and stuff. The design works for that.
Yeah.
But it's still just strange to see.
Yeah, I bet.
And right next to it is like a body chute. I don't understand. Like, did they roll coffins through that? But just looking at it, it is very strange.
It is.
Plus when they do the autopsies and stuff and they have the body sitting on there, to keep the body from like moving in any certain way, they have like this little metal frame that like it sits at the base of the neck and like your feet get cupped in there and it kind of slides up and down to, fit different sizes.
Okay.
That was in the elevator room.
Yeah.
Because later on, when we were doing the solo, it told me to lay down. And I'm like, what? It
I
told
remember
me,
that.
yeah, it told me to go to the elevator room and it told me to lay down. I'm like,
No.
I was like, where does it want me to lay down at? And
Yeah.
And then it said, I remember it said move. And then it said to the right or
Yes.
by the box. Sorry.
No, it said move right.
Move right.
And I was like, what the son of a, there's a box. Because like where I
That's
I
right.
laid right on the floor, right at the doorway.
Yeah.
Because, I'm standing there, it tells me to lay down. There is a mattress, or not a mattress, but like a frame in there
Okay.
where it's got the springs and everything.
Gotcha.
But it had a bunch of boxes. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to work for this shit. I'm fat. No. And then over there's the body thing, which I would have absolutely laid on because, I'm weird. But I mean, it was very small because it's something that you can stretch out, and I wasn't about to touch it and try to move it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
break it. And then they're like, you son of a bitch. So I was like, that would be cool to lay on that, but I'm not doing it without permission and everything. So I was like, okay,
Right.
executive decision. I'm just going to lay right here on the floor. And then tells me nails, and I'm like looking at the roof, and there's like nails coming through it. I'm like, oh, great. One right through the eye. It's going to happen to me like it did Phil,
Too soon.
Too soon. But then I'm laying there and it tells me, it goes, move right. And I look to my right and I have the camera with me and
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a, there's a box here. So I kind of just scooch up to the box and I'm like, why'd you want me to move right? Now, I will say when I was laying on the floor, something did feel like it grabbed like the tip of my right foot and pulled, like did a jiggle like that. I'm like, wait, what was it? Felt like something just messed with my foot.
Jiggle with the
Exactly.
full-
Well, if it was somewhere else, not my foot, I would have been, I was like, hey, you've got my dowsing rod. No. But then I look to the right and there's spider eggs.
Oh, sick.
And I was like, and then it says bite. And I'm like, oh, is that why you wanted me to lay on the floor? You son of a bitch. You want me to get bit by these spiders, don't you? Exactly. But
Yeah.
overall, I was up there for an hour and a half. Again, I'm not somebody who gets scared easily. I also don't feel things like other people. So it was a breeze for me.
Yeah.
There is the one room that's up there that is, we call it the stinky carpet room.
Yes.
It's,
So I will say with that room, the reason why it smells so bad is it has not been vacuumed since the 1960s. I know yeah, I know. When you go to it, you can see the thick layer of dust on it, and you can tell that people
Gross.
have like traveled in there. You can see their little shoe prints, and
So what you're saying is if we go back there, we're going to have to get the masks.
for that room.
I'm
Yeah.
going to get very special masks.
Okay.
Not N95s. We're going to upgrade that.
Nice.
Okay.
Good thing to have somebody that works in the medical industry.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what to get. I specifically a pulmonologist too.
Nice.
Yep.
In that room, I was absolutely amazed by with all the tapes
Yes.
and like the reels that they had. Because it's
I
not like a
mean-
modern day one either. Like they're very large.
Yeah, the old film reels.
I would love to see what's on there. I would
yeah.
love to see what's on there.
Absolutely. You being the techie with the stuff, you could actually easily figure it out, and you
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
can get some of the gear to do it.
Yeah, I would
We
be able
just
to
have to get
probably
permission.
Yeah, for sure. But I would love to see what's on there. I mean, if it's some footage of like when they were doing like, I don't want to say like the autopsies, but like fitting of the caskets and like
Nasty
making
son
the
of a bitch.
caskets. I know I'm weird. I mean,
It's a
that's why
commercial
we're
ad
doing
for
this.
business, okay?
Yeah, it's a commercial ad. Like, hey, you died.
There
you
were
wanna put your body
VHS
here?
tapes up there too, though.
There was.
Okay.
Now, another strange thing, in the very center, the way this little apartment's set up, straight up like a Scooby-Doo episode, dude. I felt like I could be running, you like run out of this door and then, they keep passing each other and all that. I felt like I could easily do that there because how everything was interconnected.
And I actually ended up getting lost for like 10, 15 minutes. And he's like, where'd you go? I'm like,
don't
I'm
know.
exploring.
Yeah. The sad thing about that is we can't let her drive anywhere either because she is directionally challenged like there is no tomorrow.
I am. It is bad. I have to go somewhere like 10 times for me to remember how to get there. Yeah.
And then there's
Great.
the
So when we go to Yorktown, she's going to be like, hey, guys, I don't know where I'm at. I'm in the basement.
GPS is my friend, okay? We need to get like an Apple AirTag and just like put it in my pack.
shit, she's downstairs again. Look at that.
She's by the cage in the basement in Yorktown.
Then we go down there and all that stairs her backpack. Oh god.
Oh man. All right. Well,
but
See y'all later.
So in that little apartment thing, besides the strange window that's in the bathroom that makes no sense, that goes into another room, over in the main living area, there was a screen door, like, to keep bugs out.
Yes, it was like in the dead center. So there used to be a very old staircase kind of right there.
okay.
And they've asked, don't lean on it. It will fall apart.
Yep.
Right in that area, there's a screen door in the middle of the apartment area. And there's not just one, but there's two.
Mm-hmm.
And they're almost
Very
mirroring
strange.
each other. And with this room, it connects with that bathroom.
Yep.
And there's an additional
Doesn't make sense.
window, like it's a very small window. It's kind of up high, connected to it as well.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
like, why is that here?
Dang,
I
she
know.
gonna beat that thing up.
I know, it's jacked.
I know, right?
But then there was like another glass. It's a door that goes into another part of the room, and it's got a bunch of little glass sections. And some jerk, broke the glass. I
Yeah.
hate vandals. I really do.
Yeah.
But that being said,
That
since we're talking
door
about
doesn't
jerks,
match.
since
Don't
we're
bring
talking
me
about, I mean,
You're not
it's got to be
included.
said. I
Damn
mean, you
it.
weren't there, so
Damn it.
jerk.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of faux pas. If you're going to just in general go to a paranormal investigation, don't bring something that you say already has the spirit attached to it.
Yeah, that to me doesn't make sense because then in that instance, you don't know if you're talking if a spirit comes through, if it's a spirit from that location or
Yes.
from whatever you brought.
Yes. And then on the flip side of that, don't bring a almost identical item in hopes of getting an attachment on it and taking something home like a pet. If you're going to do something like that, you really have to talk to the establishment because they may not want you doing that. They don't want you taking the spirits. And, dude, that is just absolutely rude. You don't do that.
No.
And bringing strange objects that make strange noises, at least explain to everybody what's going on. That way they don't hear strange noises and be like, what the fuck is that? Because
Yeah.
it's just not polite. Basically, know that you're not the only person there. You're at a big group investigation. Have your manners, and those first two things, just don't ever do them. That's just stupid
For me, it doesn't make sense. I mean,
at all.
but I mean, that's just my perspective on it. If you're
I
going
agree.
to investigate a location, you want to talk with the spirits that are there, not something you're bringing with you.
Right.
Mhm.
Because then if you're just going to talk to the spirit that you brought with you, you could stay home and do that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
to try to get something to attach something you bring.
These spirits are
Again,
not pets.
people are coming
No,
to
these are people.
exactly.
These are
People
not
are coming
pets.
to talk about their story, and you're
Mhm.
trying to get them to leave with you.
That's
it's
ridiculous that
ridic-
people
yeah, I
think
agree.
that.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, very disrespectful. Very.
I believe, and that goes to show that. I mean, everybody's got their own way of doing stuff, but there should be some general census that these spirits and these entities that we're talking to, for the most part, were human,
Well,
so they should be treated as such.
This goes back to kindergarten level. You treat others how you want to be treated.
Yep.
it's like that line in Jurassic Park. They were so concerned on if they could do it, never ask should they do it.
Yeah.
Guys, come on, have common sense. So hate mail, Mudrat. If you don't like what I said,
You can send it to
Sorry.
me too. I'm right on board with
I was
that.
like,
I very much agree with
my
that statement
opinion,
as
and
well.
that's not going to change. So
I mean, that's almost the same point of going into a place and being like, oh wow, there's a lot of spirits here. Light up the sage and let's get rid of them
yeah, right.
without talking to the
Mhm.
people that have it. I mean, I'm sure if we did that, like going to Hill House and said, you know what, Kathy, there's a lot of spirits here. We're gonna clear them all out for you.
Ghostbusters.
Just start throwing the traps down. I mean,
Yeah, no.
She'd
No.
probably stab us and we'd probably be ghosts there. I mean,
Hey, Toby.
Maybe that's why there's so many spirits there.
maybe.
A bunch of jerks that came in to investigate and never left.
Yeah.
Never
Sounds
seen
like-
the basement,
Hey,
have we?
sounds like a good short film.
Right.
You know what? Okay, no, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah, sorry.
We're straying too much.
All right.
My
True,
bad,
true,
my
true,
bad.
true, true. Okay, so, but the Dillion Depot definitely had a whole lot of personality to it. We didn't get a lot of stuff happening. There was stuff on the spirit boxes and the stuff like that. Another really interesting thing, as soon as she got there, like from square one walking into the main building,
My ears. My
Mhm.
ears were hurting the entire day.
Just like the pressure.
Yeah, my pressure. And then I kept hearing ringing and it would alternate between my ears. But I sat pretty much almost in the same spot the entire day because it's like, I like sitting with my back against the wall and I like people watching. Okay. People are very interesting.
They are.
And my head was hurting. By the time the investigation actually started for the Dillion Depot, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I was ready for a nap.
yeah.
I can feel you on that.
Well,
Well,
and-
McIntyre was just like that with me.
And, of course, the other person that was putting it on, Tracy, was completely exhausted. She was working off like a half an hour of sleep or something like that. And where that came into play, I had from Dark Star Paranormal. He makes these really cool little boxes, yes, no boxes.
Yep. The
Mhm.
electromagnetic ones.
Yes.
Yep.
And I had that on the table, right? Well, her and I just walking along, walking past the table. I had it still on in case, we wanted to start asking questions and whatnot. As soon, she walked by first, nothing. As I walked by, it lit up.
Yeah.
It goes blink, blink. And we're like, what was that? Are you trying to talk to me? And then I would walk up to it and get near it. And I guess, I'm putting off energy.
Yeah.
And it like I put my hand near it, go towards it, lights up. She goes over to it.
Nothing. And we tried like alternating. I think it was like maybe 10 total attempts. And then we brought in Tracy because I was like,
Well, before Tracy just happened to be walking by was Hef and
Heather.
Heather.
Yeah.
yes.
And, I was like, hey, you guys do me a favor, walk by that box. Because at the time we thought it might be doing something with me. And we're like, oh, something's actually doing with me. What the hell?
Oh, man.
I know. I was excited.
No kidding. I was like, for the first time.
I got so disappointed. Dude, it sucked. Because
finally.
Exactly. I was like, I was stupid excited. My dowsing rod was pointing right at it. Yeah, it was like, game on. No, but so I asked them to walk by, right? Well, as soon as both of them walk by, it goes off. And I'm like, wait, that is weird. I'm like, Renee, go back over there. So she goes back by, nothing. The only time it ever came on for her
When she kicked the table.
was she.
I smacked it on hand,
She was trying to do like this
Yeah.
and she smacked it and it actually lit up then. But
just by vibration. I know. I was so frustrated because I was like, come
I
on.
saw that video. It was like, oh, she kicked the table.
And then,
No, I
then
straight up
Tracy
smacked
was
it.
standing over there and we're like, hey, well, let's Tracy come over here because we knew she was tired. Same thing.
Nothing.
Nothing for her. And so we gathered that basically just sucked all their energy and all their everything. I don't know what else to say on that.
No, I mean, that's
brain
definitely-
Yeah, no,
went
that's
dead.
literally
That-
on how it felt.
There is a
was,
video out there on it too.
That's
I
an
recorded it.
unintentional little thing that you guys discovered that, they felt drained. And that kind of showed that they were drained.
Mhm.
Well, and also bringing up Heather, we're standing inside the ice cream area.
Okay.
And because they got like a couple tables there and like there's it's not a window, it's just a big opening looking at the railroad tracks and all those open tables for like families to sit at.
Okay.
Heather's sitting out there at a table. She's like getting her stuff in her bag. She's got
I have the thermal camera on because I
You
had
were
gotten
telling me
some
about
ice
this.
cream. And I just had the thermal camera on, just looking out, and you could see her heat signature. And you could see, because they had like the little lights up on the area, and you could see like the little heat signatures from the light. And there's just it flags as a deep purple when
Mhm.
it's the coldest spot.
Mhm.
And it had flagged for it. And I'm like, okay, let's get a little closer. Went around that little area. Now I'm actually in the railroad. and you could still see it. Really nice dark purple, and it's
That's
the
cool.
shape of a person.
Yep. Standing
And-
right next to Heather.
That's cool.
And so I know we tried to debunk it with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, go stand, go stand. And I have the picture. We need to get it off there.
Yeah, we need the pictures there. And I think I even took a video with
Of
my
it.
phone where I'm standing behind it. The only problem is trying to focus on that. But to show that
Yeah.
there is nobody standing next to her, yet you see a blue.
That's cool.
And you could see the head and the shoulders very distinctly
That's cool.
because it matches her exact shape of like the head and the shoulders. And you can see that same head and shoulders, but it's like a little taller.
Knees and toes.
You can
knees
tell.
and toes.
I know, no kidding, right?
Sorry.
But it was just so actually insane, actually being able to capture that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool.
I really wish we had you because yours is much nicer than one I have. Mine's that little pocket one. Where
Right.
yours is like the big, nice one that records and everything. So,
Yeah, which I still have to watch from that.
but
I
we're-
keep forgetting.
the main thing is we definitely, when we go back to Dillion Depot to do like the team one, we got to bring that
Definitely,
because
definitely.
it was really active.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Um,
I'm excited because from what you guys tell me, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of energy there. So
absolutely. There's a lot of energy. Now, the one flip side to it that we have to say is because it is an antique shop. So there are all sorts of old things. And now they did tell us, don't go into any of the rooms, like where the antiques were. We there's like a main hallway that goes down to go outside where the staircase, which for the longest time we could not find. We're like, there's a
it's
second
like
floor.
So before everybody, because we had gotten there early,
Mhm.
and they were just like, go walk around. It's like, okay, we saw the Dr. Pepper truck.
Mhm.
And
That's
we were
cool.
looking around.
That's
It's
cool.
like, where's the stairs?
Well,
Kept looking around.
We didn't even think about the stairs because we had no idea there was a second floor until Heifer told us. She goes, yeah, a lot of the action happens up on the second floor. And we're like, then we started thinking, we're like, I never saw, did you see the stairs? I didn't see stairs.
I didn't see stairs
Huh.
whatsoever.
And we opened like almost every door.
I will tell you, not all doors, not all doors.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, originally, whenever she was saying it's like, it's that first door, I went to pull it and it felt locked.
Yeah.
Ghost was like, no.
Actually, the
And
funny thing
the-
about that,
Somebody went, it's like, it should be open. And then they went and they
Just
said it
opened
opened
right
right
up.
away. And I'm like, are you
I mean,
fucking
because
kidding
she
me?
walked up and grabbed it and started
I-
trying. And I'm like,
yeah.
hey, if it doesn't open, don't open it. Don't try to yank on it because we could break something. And
Yeah.
that's obviously an
Yeah,
area
of
they don't
course.
want us to
It's-
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they
That's-
just walked right up and it just went, opened right up.
Mm.
I did feel pretty blonde though.
And we also have
car.
whoa.
The beetle. Okay, so there is another. I know he's still stuck on it.
No, anyways, go ahead.
There's it's a bug, right?
No,
What is that?
it's a old like 1950s. You know how everything's round. That's why she thinks it looks like a bug because all the cars
It
back
looks
then
like a
were
bug.
round. Yeah,
Yeah.
and somebody died in that.
Yep. In a car accident, they had what I was told is that they were in a car accident and they had died in the vehicle, and it's been left untouched since then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
And
to do Estes in there.
I was like, hey,
I don't think you're not allowed in there.
Well,
we're-
not in it, around it, maybe.
we're-
right?
Around it, yes.
I was like, we'll ask because
Yeah.
when you're in a big group.
It's harder to, yeah.
when we were doing the investigation,
Yeah.
we were there with Heifer was kind of like leading it
The
up,
guide.
the guide.
Mhm.
Tracy was also in there. But the other teams that were there, we had the Ghoul Gals, awesome ladies out of San Antonio. And then we had the Dark Side guys,
Mhm.
and they're from Corsicana. Couple of cool guys, Scuba Steve.
Scuba.
Yeah, I follow. He
Yeah.
follows us.
He's a pretty cool guy. Mike, I think, was the other guy, or he's the guy who wasn't there.
I can't remember.
I'm horrible with names, but so anyways, we had the Ghoul Gals, which is I remember there's Jen, and Ashley because Jen, that was easy for me to remember.
Yeah.
Then there were a few other people I don't know who they were, but we do have video footage of Heather was there and she brought one of those music boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I seen that one.
Yeah, and it was facing, because it's motion activated, it was facing a wall where they in the past have seen shadow figures,
Mhm.
and it was facing that wall. We were completely over by the ice cream thing, and we hear this ding ding, and we're like, so we all go running over there, and we're like, "Can you do it again?" And then it set off. Yeah, it went off. I got it on film at least twice, and maybe
Yeah.
3 times.
Three
And,
times,
you
I
know,
think.
I have posted that as well. So that I love that little music box thing because you can hear it. I mean,
That's
like,
a good one.
we came running, just took the little ding ding, and we're like, "What?" Running over there.
Yes, we did.
Hold on, let me see if this is the right one.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's how I felt when we were upstairs.
second
in
floor? Yes.
Trying to. Seriously, because there was one time I was like,
confusing because
"Renee,
it's like
where'd you go?"
there's so many doors and it's like on the hallway on one of them. It's really confusing with the screen door because it looks like a general office door. It's broken up with a lot of mini like little windows. Don't vandalize, don't break windows. That's not cool.
I agree.
As y'all are going through that area, it's kind of like a little intersection.
Mhm.
One has that little office door, and then the other one has a screen door. And that's just kind of how it is. And then it's like you have to go across on that one. There's another door there. And if you keep going down the hall, there's another door there.
You just get lost easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many doors.
Now, I will also say, if you do go back and watch the solo video, when I had first got up there, one thing I did not notice, it was like a light that was hanging down from the ceiling. And I make a comment on it. I'm like, I don't remember that being there because we actually had done a live video in the area. When we did the live video, Renee was in front of me. When she walked in, it was just one of those perfect things because it was on the other side of her. So as I'm walking in like this, she's talking to me. And then when we leave, it went like that. So I never saw it because whenever I went back downstairs and I actually asked Renee, she's like, "No, that's been there the whole time, jackass." So I was like,
I didn't say that. I'm nicer than that.
Okay, she just said jackass. That's all she said. I got I put it 2 and 2 together.
Put it two together, eh?
That's the same room that has the really cool shelving unit.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is about like the smaller shelving units, but the gaps in between, and it's like a slanted closet. So it's like custom built shelving, and
I would
it's
say
really,
kids' room.
really neat.
Yeah, sounds like it. But yeah, it's weird. I'm really excited to ever get back there.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a place that we
It's
as
so
the
much
team need
fun.
to go to. It is definitely a place that you want to go though, because the upstairs does not have air conditioning, so you don't want to go during the
Summer months.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
during the cooler months.
Yeah, it was a little.
That seems to be a lot here in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
You
I
all
mean,
go-
it's
During
Texas.
the summer,
Come on.
you're kind of like, all right,
that's
we're
our
gonna
dead
be doing
season.
this.
Yeah, it's like we're actually actively looking for any place that has air conditioning.
Yeah.
We're like,
Yes.
yeah, we'll go do that one. No, oh, sorry, we'll see you in the winter.
We'll see you in the
Yeah,
winter
we'll
and
be
the fall
back.
and the spring, but cool. I'm glad it went well, and I really hope it does become more of a annual thing. because-
Parapalooza. Well, they are saying that with Parapalooza, at least the organizers of it,
Okay,
he wanted to try to do it twice a year.
that'd be pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Once
Once.
in Cleburne, and then the other half of the year they go to San Antonio because that's where he's based out of.
Sweet,
And San Antonio is just a hotbed for that stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Especially if you can get into the Alamo for an investigation.
Oh my God. We stayed at the Emily Morgan, which we were literally looking down on the.
Yeah.
I know you have this look because you hear a little.
I know.
I
I'm
can see
sorry.
it.
It's
It's the air conditioning.
sorry. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
ignore it, and then it's like the
I can
ringing
tell
and then
you're,
the high
like,
pitch.
something's
It's like it's
bothering
making me
you, but-
antsy. I'm sorry.
But yeah, we stayed at the Emily Morgan where we were looking down on it.
That
Now-
view was absolutely
Oh, my
amazing. I know
God.
there's a picture on Facebook of, I know I'm standing in the window and you're right next to me.
Yeah.
And we're like so up high, but that view looking down on it, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
I had Price go down to the street and take I was like, dude,
Yeah.
you got to go down there. We're going to stand in the window and I need you to take a picture of it just to show where our room was,
That's cool though.
But yeah, so Parapalooza, they're going to try to do it twice a year. It was, I would say, a success. And
500 people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty good success with like, I believe it was 22 vendors. That amazing success.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm certain that they're going to keep doing it. So just kind of, we'll keep you posted on
Definitely.
when it comes back up again. We've also offered to help again next year.
Yeah.
Maybe be some speakers. If you're a vendor, they're always looking for more vendors. So definitely, contact us.
Should contact Dark Star.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we can get you in touch with the people who actually set that up. Because we don't set that up. I mean, we talk to us, or we can get you just in touch. But yeah, Dark Star would be.
Yeah, he'd probably love it.
We're just throwing this out there.
I don't know where he's based out.
Louisiana, I believe.
Oh, so he's not too far.
Yeah, no, not at all. And he knows of Denton because he was talking about the raceway that's out there.
Yep, very true.
But Dark Star, my favorite place right now. We're just throwing this plug out there for him because he's an awesome guy.
Great customer service.
I am all about micro because I like to try to carry my gear on me at all times. And he started off by making a little rim pod that was like a little square, like this big.
It is so cute.
And then I started asking him, I'm like, hey, dude, can you do some of your other stuff in that? So he made, his yes, no box was like this big.
Yeah.
And he actually created it into one of those little squares for me.
Yeah.
And I've already received that. And now he is doing a stem pod for me.
Yeah, because I wanted that one.
That's also in the micro size. And I ordered another REM pod because I saw that he did glow in the dark. And I was like,
yeah,
my dowsing rod was, yes, it was pointing right at it.
I don't have the Boeing one on here anymore. Yeah.
But so no, his stuff, and it's worked awesome. Now, besides it being micro, another thing that I love about the REM pods is the antennas on REM pods get in the damn way. Now, some of them you can unscrew, but even then, that's it actually plugs in and plugs out. So if you want to get a longer one, you can. If it breaks, you can just buy a replacement one. It makes it so easy to pack. Dark Star, I believe his name's Wayne. Awesome thing. The best.
Far.
Yeah, the best place to contact him is just on Facebook. And you DM him and his product. So far, everything I've used it on 3 different places now, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, and we're hopefully going to be checking out. I think I want to get one of those Helios Pros.
Yeah, the Helios Pro.
I love spirit boxes and ITC communication. So I always like to have a plethora of different kinds and try different ones under different scenarios. Like I'm really excited about the new SB7 Pro.
Yeah, I really want to see how that works.
Yeah, so the big difference between that is you can change your steps between the frequencies.
Okay.
So it actually blends stations together. So there's more white noise between the stations instead of just straight up cuts between. There's some blends, and it supposedly allows the spirits to speak clearer through it.
Okay.
But the thing that really sold me on it is that there's an IR sensor in the front and a REM sensor, so you can set up the duration of like if it gets triggered, how long you would like to have it run. So at that point, you can set it in front of a camera by a trigger object and have it set up to where if it triggers, then it goes off and it's easier to speak. Or if you have it set up with the
Boo Bear,
or like if you're doing an investigation, you can ask the question, then touch the REM thing, and it can answer you right there. And then you can let go of it and it turns off. So you don't have that constant,
cool.
You can be like, so is there anybody here? And then hit the button. And there's, and then if it stops, then you just stop. I think it's gonna be cool. And a cool thing else is it's got a headphone jack and a speaker jack.
Yep.
So you don't have to use the splitter anymore. You can put one on the other.
Now, all that being said, because this turned into some kind of techie stuff there, no, that's cool, absolutely cool, because on the YouTube, we're going to have specific videos that won't be like on our podcast. It's just specific videos that we're doing. We're going to take each individual tech piece.
Yeah, we're going to do it's going to be like Tech Tuesdays or something like that.
Yeah.
But to do that, we really want to put some of these equipment pieces through their tests so we can give you an honest opinion if it works good, if it doesn't work for us, and it may work for you. But if there's any piece of equipment that you would like us to do, send it to us in our email and we'll go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, if it's one we already have or one we could pick up, we're more than happy to try it out. Just a few places that we like to pick up a lot of our gear, like Dark Star Paranormal, only through Facebook. Yeah, like I said, you got to send him a message, but he's awesome. We
Yeah.
go to Ghost
Stop.
Ghost Stop, and then
And
Ghost Hunter
Hunter
Store.
Store.
That's Ghost Hunter Store. We just got the light up
Dowsing
Dowsing
rods.
rods.
dowsing rods.
That's where I got the PSP 7 Pro.
And I got the Delco goggles from there as well. Plus, that's also where I got the original Tempest when I first got it.
right.
And
And
Ghost
the
Stop.
Tempest is right now is by far probably one of my favorite pieces of equipment,
Heck yeah.
Mine too.
just because of the things that it can do and record when the recording part works.
Mhm.
And it has all the, like I said, I'm a very big tech person. So if I can have stuff that does multiple things and records data, I'm all in.
Absolutely. And then Ghost Stop, we've picked up many things from there.
Some seem to be a little bit of a bust.
Yeah,
so
but
far,
we'll go on that
so
on the
far.
Tech
Yeah,
Tuesdays.
so far.
It's just it hasn't worked out for us. Now I have seen videos where it's worked for some other people,
Right.
but I've also seen where it didn't work for other people very well. It's just we're not getting a lot of action.
It's a
with it.
very specific kind of
Interactive tool.
tool. And I think we just haven't found the perfect spot for it.
I don't remember where I got Tripwire.
Tripwire, I think, was Ghost Hunter Store.
And that actually worked really.
Yeah,
really good.
we
Oh,
really
yeah.
like that too.
That one is awesome. Now, that being said, if you have ideas and you create gear and you want us to check it out, absolutely. Hit us up.
Yes, please.
And we're not saying send it to us free or anything like that.
Not at
Just
all.
we do love gear. Anything to kind of make the community better and get more things out there to bring
Right.
more proof and evidence to what we're doing. We are totally down.
Especially,
So-
like I said, if you can combine a couple pieces of equipment, because the one thing that I have on my mind or in my eye is I would like to get the quad from Paraforce.
Yes.
And that's like a REM pod, a vibration sensor, a temperature sensor, and there's one other one, and I can't remember it right now, but it's all built into one and it records all of them. So-
Ooh.
That is really cool.
So that is one that I got on my mind. And then I also got to try the Polterscript. I think that's what it's called, Parascript or Polterscript.
And what is
It's
that?
another one like an Ovilus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they're based out of the UK, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
The Paraforce is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff too. And, we're not just going to go buy a whole bunch of stuff and just have it there, but I do want to try different pieces of equipment for different scenarios because one piece of equipment might work better for one, one
Mhm.
person might work better for a different one.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, we learned last night you can have too much gear because
You can always have too much gear.
we just because we're at a location where we had some gear and some other people brought gear. And then when you're trying to speak with one of the spirits and you're trying to get it to interact, it's like and the room is just covered in stuff. It's like,
It's so hard.
yeah, you're like,
And then at that point,
it's
especially if
overwhelming.
it's electromagnetic with all those battery operated devices, it could
Mhm.
definitely give false positives. For
well,
sure.
I mean, because the room was so big, I'm not really worried about the false
Okay.
positives.
It
but
was very spaced out.
It
Okay.
was trying to get it to, because, okay, like case in point, I had the yes, no thing there. And that would have been perfect for trying to ask questions, but that's over here. Over here is the guy's REM pod, and it's starting to interact with the REM pod. I don't want to take my stuff over there and because there
Yeah,
was
okay. I get what
there
you're
was a
saying.
bunch of groups and
Yeah.
there was too much stuff. And he was not aware of my yes, no, and how that worked because that was a piece of equipment he's never seen. So,
Right.
he's not thinking. He just keeps saying, go to the REM pod. And it's like, leave the REM pod alone, go over and speak the yes, no, and we can actually have a conversation here.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
communicate.
And that's one thing too. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about any other teams or
Yeah.
anything like that. But when you do have a piece of equipment that people may not understand, like you said, I think earlier, you might want to be like, okay, this is how this works. So hopefully it doesn't interfere with your equipment. Like if you have something that puts off an electromagnetic field at a distance, like say somebody upstairs is playing with a Jacob's ladder or a Tesla coil. I'm not talking about that.
Gee, I was like, Jacob's ladder, are you talking about me? What are we doing here? Stop that.
But
Don't ask people.
I don't.
ask.
I don't want to
we're
ask.
not going there
I don't want to
today.
ask.
Not
Just
today.
The PA,
Yeah.
Prince Albert. That's the only hint I'll give.
That's okay. It goes over my head, so I still don't
Okay, good.
understand.
It
So
kinda goes through my head. No,
if
yeah.
somebody in another room is using something that's throwing off a huge amount of electromagnetic fields or EM pump, and then somebody in the other room is K2 meters going freaking nuts, they're like, oh, this is definitely you're like but then some other, like I said, communication between other teams on different locations
Yes.
is a must. And I think that just goes back to the whole being professional with each other.
Oh yeah, communication,
Mind your
and
manners.
get a game plan going.
Yeah.
That way, everybody knows kind of what the story is.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, I'm definitely annoyed, or not annoyed, but upset that I kind of missed that. But
You
family
should be.
vacations
You
are.
should be. No. Actually, I'm still jealous, dude, because not only did you, but then your daughter had the nerve to send me, dude, I ate an Indian taco.
No.
Yeah.
Dirty
She
son of a.
did.
And he sent me a photo of it going, oh, yeah, I'm missing you.
Yeah. So we did have a lot of fun, and I actually got to do a lot of photo and video of the
Dude, it looks good,
Imagination.
I
too.
saw it.
It looks
It's
seriously,
so beautiful.
people. Some of the film stuff that he does, you definitely got to check it out because it is just awesome and gorgeous. That's part of why he's in our group, because he is so good with the cameras. Got great shots. Now I will also throw out Unknown Ventures, Robbie.
Yeah.
He also does some pretty good photo
I'm
stuff.
looking forward to working with
Yeah,
him.
I was
Yeah.
like, I think you and him are going to hit it off really well because you guys both have that. You
Yeah.
got that stuff, man.
Yeah. So, yep, I'm definitely, I got to do some stuff I love. I got to do some drone footage and some footage with my cinema camera, and it was a lot of fun.
Heck
So-
yeah.
It
And-
looked
and-
like it.
And we're working on some locations that involve Native Americans.
That will be so cool.
Definitely excited about that.
Hey, but also we are looking at a trip to go to Brownsville. I was just talking to her.
Okay.
That way we can go look at the UFO
Oh, yeah.
and possibly Chupacabra.
Yes, that would be a nice one to do. And
She's got the hookup.
and pretty soon we're going to be rolling out these documentaries.
Yeah, soon,
I
very
know.
soon.
So I think we're going to start filming our very first one in November. And
Now-
then,
I know one of the ones that we really wanted to do. I'm going to throw this out there because this is also one of my pet peeves. One of the ones are local that we wanted to do.
yeah.
It's getting ridiculous. And I'm going to
Yeah.
talk Old Alton Bridge, which is also known as Goatman's Bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting
Um,
ridiculous.
People, come on, again, mind your manners.
Yeah.
If you want to go look at it, awesome. We can go as a group. We can be a community, but we keep getting all these, young people that are just there to have fun. And I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, kind of be curious. You want to go party
Yeah.
and stuff, cool. But if you got a group that comes up and wants to actually do investigating stuff, be like, hey, man, we're going to move aside. You guys do your thing. We'll do our thing over here. Don't sit there, go off into the bushes and try to act like you're Goat Man.
Yeah.
And of course, the movie just came out for Goat
Yeah.
Man.
Go, man.
And so
So now everybody's all over that
Yep.
place.
since it's also the season, so it typically gets busier then too.
It's gotten ridiculous. When we were up in McIntyre, Becky, who is an author of the Goatman's Bridge, and she
Super
does all
sweet lady.
does all the tours. She's an awesome lady. She got a call saying that I don't know who went up there. One of her friends went up
It
there.
was no, it wasn't just a friend. It was a group that they come
Okay.
down only once a year
Okay.
from New York.
Okay. I did not know that
Oh
part.
my
And they
goodness.
came all the way from New York, and she was like, yeah, sorry, I'm doing this investigation, so
Yeah.
I can't be there to help you guys. And they called her in panic because when they got there,
There was like 500 people there, and they were all chanting the Goatman.
yep.
Oh my
Now, we
gosh.
think it was a
A
publicity
stunt for the movie.
because the movie literally just
Came
kind of
out.
released, and I think it would even won an award at the Independent Film Festival.
Yeah, and
which
it's funny because the time that we actually met Becky and Lisa, when we went out and did that tour the first time,
they
they
were
were
filming
filming it there.
We didn't know that.
We
but,
didn't know it at that
we saw
time.
they had lights, and then once they left, we walked through, and they still had all quiet on set, filming,
Filming.
and
Yeah.
all this stuff, and we're like, oh, I guess they're making a movie.
And then a couple months, like we saw that thing with the Goatman trailer, and we're like, "Yep, that's what they were doing."
Which, on that, I totally support the independent artists.
Because
that,
we were
you know,
going to do the same.
yeah,
things.
I think that's awesome, and I love the fact of the movie. It's the fan base that gets stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
between stuff like the movie, and then it has become very well known because it's been on a whole lot of paranormal groups,
yeah,
and so people come out. That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. It's something that we can preserve. But then when you're going out there and just being
Dicks.
an idiot, you're tearing up the place, you're taunting people, you're scaring people.
Yeah, jumping
Come
out of
on.
the bushes. So the other thing that the people don't really understand is they see this movie and they're like, oh, that's right here. We're going to go do that. We're going to.
Mm-hmm.
There could be spiritual ramifications for you doing this stuff
Yes.
because it is a very real haunted location.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what people say, there's some unholy satanic rituals that are done there. There's some other stuff that's been found there that's questionable. There's ongoing investigations for stuff that's been happening there.
Well, we got the portal tree out there too. That's very active.
Right. And so there's a lot that people don't understand. Like I heard somebody the other day at work, one of the Express Loop guys was talking about how they're going to go climb the portal tree and take pictures. I'm like, dude, that's the stupidest idea that you think you can do.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you want to go take pictures? Cool. But climbing it with,
Yeah.
again, mind your manners, man. Don't be tearing up stuff. Don't vandalize. And also, granted, I do have a sick sense of humor. I do see the humor in it where the people dress up like they're Satan worshipers. They sit over on the side. They wait for a group to come out there. Then they don't mess with the people.
No, they just walk by.
They'll walk by. Then they'll go over near some just random bush and be like, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Just because they think it's funny and the reaction. Okay, I get the comedy to it. But at the same time, guys, those people took their time to go there too. If you do something like that, if you want to turn around afterwards and be like, guys, we're just kidding. We're joking. I'm sorry. I hope you guys had a good laugh with us. You guys have your time and then, walk away.
Yeah.
Cool. Do that, but don't just sit there, do that and then disappear back in the trees and then start trying to scare them. And, I'm good, man. Stuff like that, dude. That just, besides that, you eventually are going to get hurt because, this is Texas. Some people, we go strapped.
You got guns, but you also got all the copperheads. Because if you go at a certain time, like during the summer, you walk 10 feet, you might see 50 copperheads at night.
Well, people will walk around with, there's hiking sticks that they picked up. You jump out of a bush, you go, the guy, clubs you down. So just, it's not worth the stupid jokes. Leave people be and let's cherish this awesome place that we have, because I know it's even getting Becky to the point where she doesn't want to be associated with it, doesn't even want to go out there because she's not feeling safe. And God knows what kind of crazy people are out in this world,
I mean, just think if something ever would happen on one of her tours and somebody gets hurt from it, then she's going to feel more responsible for that. And we know Becky, and she would definitely feel completely responsible for that.
Well, and stuff starts happening and getting stupid like that, the city will end up just locking it all off. And we've lost something that was an awesome treasure for all of us that's free.
Yeah, that's the big key.
Especially in this community, it's free. That is few and far between, especially a place that's active and free.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I see that. But hopefully Parapalooza is going to take off.
Yes.
I really hope it does.
I'm so excited if they do it again next
Cleburne,
year.
Texas.
Yes,
Cleburne, Texas.
and Cleburne.
And definitely
Potentially San Antonio?
Potentially San Antonio.
Potentially. And that would be cool too, because what they do is during the day it's free, and 10 to 7. And then afterwards they typically set up to where you can go to one of the different places and do. Now that does cost. But, at the same time,
it's worth it.
Yeah, because, you're spending the money and it's not that much to basically help them upkeep those places,
Exactly.
And, keep it around so we can keep going and doing things like this.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's not, most of the places are doing it just to maintain the place.
Right.
There are a few that are out there just for the bucks, and you can tell when you go to the place and it's like falling apart and dilapidated and whatnot. But most, like 90% of them, are there to try to restore and maintain the place. So it is, don't think that they're just, you're giving money to somebody for nothing. It's truly
it really
helping.
is for upkeep, because on some of these places, they had to stop renovation just because they simply can't afford to do so.
Absolutely.
Right.
And a lot of places we can't go to anymore because they failed to upkeep it.
Well, like so many of these places are historical places.
Yeah.
I know.
And it would suck to lose this fantastic historical thing just because of vandalism or because you don't want to go, pay a small sum to upkeep the place.
And that's what's crazy because, when you get into this, it all starts being about, the spirits and the stuff like that. But it really is about the history. Once you get really into it, the history is just as interesting and as important as the spirits that you're talking about. So that's what I like about these places that upkeep it, like, Kathy does, and then Steph does, which wait till you see this place.
So
and
excited
I know
to
the
see
people
it
watching our last episode, I'll have video up on that.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely gorgeous. And it's time period correct. It's not like she did a whole modern rebuild. It is looks
Exactly
like
with how
it's
it is.
beautiful.
Surprising, there are a lot of bathrooms there. So if
Yeah.
you got a group, you are pretty good because there's at least 3 bathrooms that I know of.
Okay, now which one's the least haunted? That's the question.
Probably the
The
downstairs,
downstairs
one.
one.
That's where I
We,
Yeah,
we
'cause
use the scary one for the spooky dookies.
Yeah, that's exactly what he calls it, the spooky dookie.
We're gonna go take that's the spooky dookie room.
And that one is actually, that used to be just one big room where those 2 bathrooms are. So that's why both of them have kind of a little bit of action going on. Now, in the one bathroom that you did go use, I know we're not on the McIntyre, but I just want to throw this out there. One of the things, there's 2 actually things that a lot of people comment on. One in that bathroom, which is not the big bathroom attached to the library, but the side one in the hall. They're like, oh, I hear something every time I open the door. There's something. It's actually just a air suction,
And it's ceiling vent.
It's
ceiling
causing
tile.
like stuff to move. And so because we found that out, because I had seen many videos where they mentioned that. And the other one I'd like to mention is the clock that's downstairs by the kitchen. They're like, oh, it's not plugged in, it's not working, and you can hear chimes. Okay, well, the grandfather clock. I'm fat, so whenever I stepped on the floor next to it, it kind of gives in a little bit, and it causes it just enough to move, and you hear it going off.
So if somebody walks by it, I mean, it did it for me. It did it for everybody.
Yeah.
If you walk past it, going from the dining room into that kitchenette area, it makes a chime.
Now, if nobody was near it in the chimes, different story. But the only times we ever had a chime, I mean, it's like without missing a beat, every time I step through the doorway, right there next to it, it's like, bell, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, all right. Like I said, I'm kind of annoyed that or not annoyed. I'm upset that I missed it because it sounded like it was awesome.
Parapalooza is awesome.
There'll be another one. So
thank you guys that did.
Definitely.
You ran at the Wandering Souls.
Definitely.
Call Me Claire and the Unknown Ventures.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to meeting all of them and working with them in the future. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the shadows.